I feel really comfortable getting this review to you guys. I have everything I wanted to test, so you can keep some things in mind for a craft if you decided to craft it. In this set of weapons, if you play Destiny fairly regular, there's a good chance you're gonna have the craft by the end of the season. Brya's Love is a void 180 RPM scout, and I'm telling you right now, for a lot of you, it's going to be mid, you're gonna stay away from it, but for some of you, it has play. We're going to talk about that. There's like 6 total non-sunset Void Scouts. Aisha's Embrace from Trials, Doom of Chelchis from the Raid, Pointed Inquiry, Royal Chase comes up time to time, Vouchsafe, and then there's this one. Direct archetype competition is Doom and Royal Chase as 180 Voids, but there's also the other 180s as a whole. More on that later, so let's dive into what sets it apart. We have some new perks, some fairly strong perks for 180s, some unique things to offer, some PvE things, some PvP things, and model-wise, it looks like the Fang of Iryut to me. If you're new to Destiny, don't know what that is, soon enough you're probably gonna know. It's that old school glass hollow sight. It's amazing for me, I like it. We have the Head Rush origin trait, which is an interesting one. Crouch for a couple seconds. When you stand up, you get a brief period of extra handling and reload. Good for some weapons, not for most. When it comes to these, it can be crafted. We have enhanced perks. Base stats are midline. They're expected from a 180. In the third column, we have Keep Away. Loose Change. This is a new one. Applying an elemental debuff to a target increases this weapon's reload speed for a short duration. Perpetual Motion, Shoot to Loot, Rapid Hit, no distractions. Fourth column, Precision Instrument. A new perk, dealing sustained damage significantly increases precision damage. We'll see what they mean by significantly. Explosive Payload, Frenzy, Adagio, Pugilist, Golden Tricorn, Destabilizing Rounds. I have the perks for this one, so let's look at them. We'll start with Loose Change, Destabilizing Rounds. This is Synergy. Destabilizing Rounds, Final Blows cause nearby targets to become volatile. Loose Change, applying an elemental debuff, such as Volatile, increases this weapon's reload speed for a short duration. Perfect. Get it down, spread Volatile, activates Loose Change. But here's the deal. I'm somewhat on the fence. Yes, it's good, it's okay. The perk just came out, but hear me out. With this perfect combination of Loose Change to Stabilizing Rounds, I have 55 reload, 15 more than the base of 40. It's that midline reload stat, it does okay. I have no loaders on, nothing like that. We can add in the origin trait on top, Head Rush, crouch for a little bit, stand up, reload. Nothing crazy at all, it's just a little help. Then we have Loose Change, pretty good. It's like a blessing and a curse. If there's enemy density, enemies are there to down. Spread Volatile, yes, it's gonna be good. But when no enemies are around, no Volatile is spread, it is worthless. And in the back of my mind, something to think about. I have the other combination I wanted to test this up against. It's Rapid Hit, Destabilizing Rounds. With 180s being on kind of the weaker side in PvE, you're definitely going to be able just to lay in shots on beefier red bars. So Rapid Hit ×5 just kind of wins out for me personally, just in the initial test, playing with it. Because not only that, you can go from red bar to red bar, 1 or 2 tapping them, getting the stacks of Rapid Hit, getting the fast reload. Not only that, it's improving your stability. So when you look at the situation, in a freeze frame, stop and think, what is easier? Landing crits on enemies or applying an elemental debuff? One of them just happens naturally, the other needs a little work. Again, you have that origin trait for a tad faster reload, and Loose Change is the pairing perk for Destabilizing Rounds on this thing specifically. Enhanced, probably going to be the best bet, but Rapid Hit Destabilizing, just as good if not better. Honestly, both combos are kind of eh. And not to mention Keep Away, if you're 15 meters and out, you get plus 30 reload, so I wouldn't say Loose Change is a must-have. Next, Precision Instrument. Same but different from Target Lock. Sustained damage increases precision damage, so it stacks at ×6, and on screen I have that percentage. We have the base, 3,474, scales up 4%, 8%, 12, all the way to ×6, which is 25% more damage. Now, there's a small timer between hits where the buff's gonna stay up, and technically, if you're at ×6, you're just gonna stay there, max stack 25%. As a primary weapon, this is a no-go. Frenzy is 15% just all the time. Golden Tricorn is 15% after a kill, or 50% at ×2. This perk's gonna shine on some weapons, just not on a 180 RPM Void Scout. It kind of works out. It's going to be best on single target, but it's a Void primary, not so much. And in the Crucible, it ramps up with each crit, a blessing and a curse. It goes 61, 64, 66. That does down 5 resilience or less, and it feels good. You have to know what their resilience level is. 6 and above, it's near worthless. So it's going to be okay versus like Rifts, things like that. But the 3-tap from a 180 anything is always going to be a good thing, whether it be a 180 hand cannon, 180 scout. But with box breathing, hung jury just sitting there. Really tough to buy in to this perk. It really is. Now, I'm not sure what Enhance does. If Enhance gives more crit damage, it's worth a look. but I think it's probably just going to give more time in between shots. I'm not a fan of it on this scout rifle, but what I am a fan of is golden tricorn. So golden tricorn on a scout, there's only one other one. It's the Jararaka. It's that fast firing stasis scout. In PvP, get a kill, lasts for 7 seconds, can be refreshed, 15% more damage. It ups it to 70, and it feels really, really good with this scout rifle. So when you think about a scout, PvP, we'll jump into PvE in a second. Things like rapid hit, golden tricorn is going to be good. No distractions, golden tricorn. Perpetual motion. Keep away even, because keep away is giving accuracy, 32 reload, and a little bit of range. We did have a mid-range shakeup. Golden tricorn's pretty special on this thing, so maybe at the end of the season, don't really know what to craft. Maybe you're looking for the Crucible. I would go with golden tricorn because the other options, explosive payload, we have other scouts with EP. Precision instrument, there's box breathing. There's golden tricorn on this thing for all kills after the first. Adagio, it's gonna up the damage to where you can 2-crit one body for a 0.8 TTK, which is serviceable. Remember, Adagio is going to be weapon specific. It doesn't push it into a threshold where it matters because a 150 scout, Jade Rabbit, is a 3-tap for a 0.8. So for PvP, it's going to come down to golden tricorn, explosive payload, possibly precision instrument if you don't have a hung jury or a glissando with box breathing. It's really hard to recommend 180 scouts when those exist. Golden tricorn is good though. Long duration for 3 taps. The pairing perk is rapid hit or no distractions, possibly perpetual motion or keep away. That's all player preference. Now for PvE, what is so hard for me is that I have a 180 scout that I love and I still use. We need to remember everyone's different. They're not going to have the same rules, same weapons even. But my dupe of Chelchis, I use a good amount of the time. It's 1 for all explosive payload. Explosive payload, a little bit more damage, 30% more in PvE, and then 1 for all on top is 35 increase for 11 seconds if it's enhanced. I've used this Doom in both of the new activities for Season of the Witch. It's doing good. I've always liked this thing. Explosive payloads on a scout is really good in PvE, so that is an option. You can go shoot to loot explosive payload. Keep away explosive payload just for the reload speed. I would stay away from precision instrument on this thing. Frenzy's gonna be nice. Golden tricorn's gonna be okay if you get a nice avoid loop going. And then there's destabilizing rounds. So I won't count out loose change destabilizing rounds. It's a good combination. It really is. Not a bad look. Shoot to loot EP, shoot to loot frenzy. And like I said, for a lot, it's just gonna be mid, but for some of you, it can help out. For the ones that it can help out, I would stick to those things. The niche, loose change destabilizing, rapid hit destabilizing. If you don't have a nice explosive payload scout or frenzy scout, that's a good look. Because remember frenzy, you get the 15% more damage, but it also essentially maxes out your reload, maxes out your handling, just makes it feel great. And remember with shoot to loot, before I forget, you can shoot orbs now. And what I've found getting the rolls, playing with it, looking at the rolls, it does a lot of things good, but nothing great. It kind of has a weird identity crisis because, again, loose change destabilizing could be good, but the way destabilizing works, best on a void sub, and loose change, yeah, you get the fast reload, there's synergy, but we have keep away as competition. We have rapid hit as competition. It's like the master of none. It just does everything a little bit above midline, but nothing great. We've had explosive payload in the past, frenzy scouts, things like that, and its new perks just, I don't think are good for it, like precision instrument, loose change. It will be good for some of you, not for most. At the end of the season, once I have all the borders, I'm probably going to be crafting no distractions golden tricorn or rapid hit golden tricorn, just for the Crucible. Like I have PvE set with that 1 for all EP Doom. It's so good. I don't think head rush helps it too much, and for head rush, I wish this thing had firmly planted. That way you have incentive to crouch and then incentive to stand back up, but it's midline. I'm not going to say it's a disappointment because as you can see, like the golden tricorn in PvP does well. The destabilizing interaction with loose change does well. Rapid hit destabilizing does well. It does okay, but just nothing extraordinary. I love the design, the sound of it, the feel of it with its reticle. Just wish it had a little bit more juice. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Let's talk about Brya's love down below. Are there any roles that you're liking? Any roles that you're planning to craft? Is it that good enough to be in your loadout? Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.